Hello students, our next topic is stem cells. So this is very important topic, and in this we will be covering stem cells, what are stem cells, their examples, and some ethics of therapeutic use of stem cells. Now first of all, if we are talking about the stem cells, if we need to define what are stem cells, they are defined as the cells that have the capacity to divide and to differentiate along different pathways. It means stem cells, they have the capacity to divide in any type of the cell, and they can acquire the function according to the location. Okay, this is the type of the cell which can go to any location, and it can behave like other cells which are present there. Like some cells are missing and they are not able to perform the function very well. Stem cells, they can go and they can learn their work by the neighboring cells, and it can behave in the same way as they are behaving. That is called the differentiation or allocation of the function. Stem cells themselves, they don't have any kind of function, but once they have divided, the function can be assigned, and that process is called differentiation. They are performing a certain type of function in any living body. Okay? Now human embryos, they consist entirely of the stem cells in the early stages. There are few examples of the stem cells where an organism can produce stem cells throughout the life in most of the organs, and these organisms are generally immortal. Okay? Because the stem cells, they die and again they divide and they acquire the function. But if we talk about the humans, most of the cells, they are not stem cells. Only a few type of cells in the human body, they behave like the stem cells. Like if we talk about the embryonic stage or an human embryo, the stem cells are present in most stem cell quality is present in most of the cells, but gradually the cells in the embryo commit themselves to a pattern of differentiation. So as the embryonic development takes place, what happens, the cells which are present in the embryo, they start taking their functions. They will acquire the functions and they will behave according to their functions. Once they have acquired their functions, then it is very difficult to change the pattern of their functionality, or we can say to change into any other type of the cell. That's why once the cell is committed to any particular function in the body, it is very difficult to change. Okay, then it loses the capacity to further differentiation, or it loses the tag of stem cell. Once the cell has acquired any function, then it is not going to be stem cell. Okay, it will come in the category of a normal cell. So once committed, a cell may still divide several more times, but all of the cells formed will differentiate in the same way, and so they are no longer stem cells. Small number of cells persist as stem cells are still present in the adult body. So in human body, we cannot say that when anyone has become adult or in the stage of adult, he or she cannot be not able to perform any functionality of the stem cells. Yes, they do have the stem cells, a very we can say very few types of the stem cells. They are found in mostly tissues like bone marrow, skin and liver. Very few cells, they can behave like stem cells, and they can acquire the function of the any other cell type in the body, we can say. They give some human tissues considerable power of regeneration and repair. Okay, like you must be knowing that the liver of the human body, it can regenerate into the whole organ. A small piece of the liver, if it is left in the body due to some accidental reason or some any other reason, if the liver is damaged and only a small well functioning part of the liver is left in the human body, it can regenerate the whole liver after some time because of the capability of regeneration or stem cell, we can say. Okay, it all depends on the regeneration capability. So same in the case of the bone marrow cells and skin, very well known. Whenever you get some kind of smaller injury on the upper layer of your skin regenerates and grows the new layer after a few days. Other tissues like the stem cells needed for effective repair, like brain, kidney and heart, for example, there has been great interest in the therapeutic use of the embryonic stem cells with organs such as these. So there are some organs which do not regenerate their original cells at any cost, like brain, kidney and heart. That's why these are the major you can say the reason for the killing of human beings at present time, like maybe it is brain injury, kidney failure, heart failure, because these organs, if once damaged, their cells are not able to regenerate or to re-perform the functions after division. Generally, human body, what it does, that the cells which are aging or which are we can say as a waste, body discard those cells divide, they multiply and they regain their functionality. But in the case of the brain, kidney, heart, it is very difficult to regain their capability which they have lost after division. Okay, once the cell is dead, very difficult to multiply and regain its functionality. There is a great potential for the embryonic stem cells for tissue repair, for treating a variety of the degenerative conditions like Parkinson disease. So in future we see stem cells as a ray of hope of treatment of various disease which we are not able to currently treat with the help of the stem cells, because we can provide them the ability to divide into a particular type of cell and perform that particular function. So here you can see the removing stem cell from an embryo. The image is showing that. Now if we see some few examples of therapeutic stem cell use which we are currently using. First example is Stargardt macular dystrophy. So what it is? So this is a genetic disease that develops in children between the age of 6 and 12. Most cases are due to the recessive mutation of a gene, that is ABCA4. You should remember the name of the gene, that is ABCA4. Now this causes a membrane protein that is used for active transport in retina cells to malfunction. So photoreceptive cells degenerate and vision becomes worse. So basically, if the retina cells are damaged, what is going to happen? The person is not going to be able to see, and with the passage of time, the person can be blind. So the loss of the vision can be severe enough for the person to be registered as blind. Now researchers have developed methods for making embryonic stem cells that develop into retina cells. So what is the treatment? The treatment is we can develop retina cells, those which have been damaged in the laboratory, and we can surgically insert them inside the eye or this was done initially with mouse cells, but in 2010 a woman in her 50s with this disease was treated by having 50,000 retinal cells from the embryonic stem cells injected into her eye. So this was the example of the treatment of the lady which was in 50s. Okay? She was in 50s, but she got the treatment from the embryonic stem cells, retinal cells were grown in the laboratory, they were surgically inserted inside the eye with the other retinal cells, and they start performing their function very well, and photoreceptivity of the cells were regained, and with the time you can say the cells attached to the retina and remained there during 4 months trial. There was improvement in the women's vision and no harmful side effects. Okay, improvement in vision was seen and there were no side effects also. Further trials with large number of patients are needed, but these initial trials are least, and the development of treatment for these types of disease are with the help of the embryonic stem cells. Now another example is the leukemia. Leukemia is a type of cancer, white blood cancer. Okay, they are produced in the bone marrow, and the person with leukemia, what happens, the blood cell count is abnormally high. Normally it should be in the range of the 4 to 11,000 per millimeter cube, but in leukemia it can be about 30,000 to 1 lakh. Okay, now the adult stem cells are used in the treatment of leukemia. How these are used? As bone marrow we have studied, here also the example that the bone marrow still have the stem cells in the adultery stage also. Adults, they do have the capacity of the stem cells in their bone marrow cells. Okay, so a person with this disease, a large needle is inserted into a larger bone, usually the pelvis, and the fluid is removed from the bone marrow of the largest bone, and the stem cells are extracted from this fluid, are stored and freeze them. Their adult stem cells only have the potential for producing blood cells. So when the normal healthy stem cells are produced, high dose of chemotherapy drug is also given to the patient to kill the cancer cells which are already in the body. The bone marrow loses its ability to produce blood cells. Now the stem cells which have been grown in the laboratory, they have been returned to the patient body via surgery or injecting them. They re-establish themselves in the bone marrow, multiply and start to produce red and white blood cells. In many cases, this procedure cures the leukemia completely. So stem cell therapy is a very promising therapy in the future also. Now there are few ethics of the therapeutic use of the stem cells. Now ethics, they are the moral principles that allow us to decide whether something is morally right or wrong. If we are performing any kind of surgery, any kind of, you can say, treatment to any patient, if the morality is allowing that, is it right or wrong, it is decided by the ethics. Okay, ethical or ethics of the therapeutic use of the stem cells. It will like scientists should always consider the ethics of research and its consequences before doing that or before performing any kind of treatment or surgery. So the argument is both the sided, like some people are in favor, some are not in favor. Some says that it is unhealthy and quality of the life of the person can be improved, where some says that stem cell therapies, it depends on the source of the stem cells, and few have some objections to this, like newborn babies cannot give informed consent for the stem cells to be harvested from their umbilical cord. The umbilical cord of the newborn baby is also a great source of stem cells. Abundantly present stem cells are present in the umbilical cord of a newborn baby. So in few cases we do extract some of the stem cells and we preserve and freeze them for the further use. However, the ethical issues concerning stem cells taken from specially created embryos are more controversial. Some argue that embryo is a human life even at the earliest stage. If the embryo dies as a result of the procedure, it is immoral because a life has been ended, and the benefit from therapies using embryonic stem cells do not justify the taking of a life. Now there are certain counter arguments, like early stage embryos are little more than balls and they have yet to develop essential features of a human life, and you are extracting few stem cells from there, and if you have disturbed the normal pattern of the cells, the embryo can be malfunctioned, malformed, okay, in future, because embryo is just a ball. You don't know from where you are just extracting the stem cells. That by injecting needle in the embryo, you take out the stem cells. By that injection, some few neighboring cells can be damaged, and it can lead to serious disastrous structures in the future embryo or the fetus. Early stage embryos, they lack a nervous system, so they do not feel any pain or suffering in other ways. If embryos are produced deliberately, no individual that would otherwise have the chance of living is denied the chance of the life. Larger number of embryos produced by IVF are never implanted and do not get the chance of the life. Okay, rather than kill these embryos, it is better to use stem cells from them to treat disease and save lives. Okay, so in favor of stem cells, few people say that while performing the IVF, it's not like that only one embryo is produced and inserted into the female body. More than one embryo is being prepared and then it is injected into the female body. But other left out embryos, we can say they are the weaker one or any other reason, they are then killed or destroyed in the lab. They are no more used to the IVF technology. So better we can use them for the stem cell therapy. At least they will perform some kind of usage to any other person with some disease or any other condition. So these are the few ethical issues regarding the stem cells therapeutic use we have discussed in this video. I hope you have understood all the topics. Thank you.